Okay, when we last left off, we were here at line 141, where we put in some strings for the display of the screen, and our next step is to put in the big number subroutine. So we're going to start copying that and put it into text edit. No, we're not going to do that. We're going to copy this one line, Apple C. Yeah, I'm still thinking apples, not command. Okay, and then we'll copy this page of code, and then it goes on. I'm going to do a page at a time, and we'll format it and look at it. And, okay, that's the end of it. That's the subroutine. Then look back at line 140. We set the value of variable q to C, our cache, before go subbing 1330. Okay. Whoops. Why does that happen? Okay, Command C. And what did I copy? I copied the book. Okay, VTab 12. Yeah, all uppercase. Okay, and then 1370, return. Okay, so positive, this is to avoid scientific notation for billions and millions. Okay, reminds me of code I had when I was doing bond trading software. Okay, so let's see here. We want to do big number routines in 1330 and 31. So we'll start pasting these in and fixing the errors. Okay, let's see if I just, I could see some things here that I could just, you see this formatting of one statement per line. They didn't think about me cutting and pasting it 40 years later from, all right. 1331, is that 1332? Okay. 1332, 33, 35. Okay. 32, there's a go-to. Okay. Bill and Trill, oh my. 1333. Okay, so that goes here. And 1335. Yeah, they didn't want to renumber this code. We'll figure that out there in a minute. Print, yeah, 1337's a line. And we got 1340 and 45, 50, okay. So if the absolute value, absolute zero, ooh, it's getting cold. The absolute Q, that's a Q. Okay, John Delancey, if the absolute value of Q, which governs the universes, is less than E flat, 1E6. Look at that. 1E6. So Applesoft will interpret that E as scientific notation, then print the int of Q, not the int of O2. No, we're not messing with oxygen here. I normal. I am, yeah, I think I'm normal, but I'm not. There is no such thing. I'm not a bell curve. Well, maybe in some places. Okay, normal print. How many spaces? Well, you look at the 1, 2, 3. It looks like 3 spaces, which would make sense. Colon return. Is that a colon or a semicolon? Normal colon. Yep. Having a normal colon is very important for your health. Okay. Absolute Q less than 1E9, not ET. That was 1982. Then 2 equals 2 over E flat. Okay. Then Q, where'd they get the parentheses? 1331. Yeah, Q equals Q over 1E6. I'm making sure that the ones are correct. And then Q string equals mil. Go to 1335. Oh, I love these go-tos. Yeah, see, go-tos make sense in certain places, and you had to use them in Applesoft because to get around the line interpretation rules. Okay, to save memory in your 64K. Now you only have like 32K to code in. All right, if absolute Q less than 1E1E, no, 1E12, wow. Billions and trillions, no quadrillions? Okay. Yeah, that'd be a good test or a Hackfest project to allow quadrillions, quintillions, nonillions, decillions, whatever they are. 1ET, phone home. 1332, 1E9. Okay. Q string equals Bill. Hey, Bill. Okay. Yeah, that's why Bill's a billionaire, huh? Okay, absolute Q. Okay, greater than or equal to 1E1E? No, 1E12. Okay. And Q equals Q over 1E12. 10 to the 12th. And then Q string equals trill. Okay. So we're talking about Jadzia Dax, Esri Dax, and the Federation in the year 3000 something. Okay. Oops, didn't want to spoil that for you. Okay. Jadzia is not in Discovery, but Dax is. Okay. Well, I'm not sure if it's Dax or another trill. Didn't pay attention much. Okay, print int Q string, Q semicolon, that's your quantity, and then Q string is your mil, bill, trill. Okay, that's a nice poem. All right, colon, and blah, 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 normal. Okay. Apple, make me normal. Nah, that'll cost you more, Eric. Okay. Int Q, semi-Q string, colon, normal, and print, not end, print a bunch of spaces. Now let's see, how many spaces are we talking about? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 spaces. So that's what you had to do with listings. You had to use a monospaced font so you could count the spaces. And for 12 to 18, not from IE to IFL, what, International Football League? Okay. H tab 1. Okay, V tab I, print a string, semicolon, not a comma, not an equals comma. The comma will print it in tabs of 8, I believe. Okay, 1360. We're in decimal here. Next I, and there's a 1365. Okay, print, and on the next page is your V tab 12. Okay, let's try this out. Big numbers. I'll be amazed if it works. Control Shift V. Ah, those curly quotes. Those curly quotes always get me. So escape and your arrow keys, go up to edit them. Now why is there a quote before the if? If absolute Q. There's garbage in there, huh? Okay. Just put a space to get rid of it, but I have to put the real quotes around these curly braces. Curly Q's. Hey! Return without ghost sub error. What you talking about, Willis? Okay. Try that again. Normal print. Return. Okay, that's what's supposed to happen. And let's list 1331, 1370. Oh, look at that. 1331 has a bracket, a square bracket garbage character. If absolute Q less than 1E9, then Q equals Q over 1E6. Q string equals mil. Go to 1335. Okay, I'm just looking these over. That looks good. 1E12 looks good to me. And what do we print on 1335 here? Oh, those spaces. It didn't like them. Int Q, semi-Q string, normal print. 6 spaces. Okay. So I escaped wrong. Okay, I'll try that. So there's no semicolon? Okay. So just to show you something, if you're in 80 columns, PR number 3, and you type escape 4, you get into 40 columns, and then, let's see, 30 to 1399. Okay, then when you press escape, you get a nice little plus sign to know that you're in escape mode, and then you press the space bar, and you're out of escape mode. Now I think the rest of it is fine. Okay, just going to look for more code in this book as we go. All right, it's explaining the 1500, and it has the go sub 1330 in there for the printing of the numbers. Okay, now we have to go to the market. 212. Woohoo. List 200 to 300. We don't have anything. All right, so it's a good idea to save. Okay, Micromate. That little red dot is their disk drive light. We're running DOS 3.3 without any speed up, so saving takes a little while. It's just writing a file of 140K, but still behaving like an Apple disk drive with the swishing. All right, so 212, we're going to copy this page of code. Okay, I'll make it bigger for my eyes and your eyes. My eyes have seen the glory. And what font do I need? Let's try 18. Okay. Market prices. Okay, the REM's, oh, 21 question mark, huh? 217. The 7 looked like a question mark in that weird font. Yeah, this is like a computer readable font. Well, not a Adobe font readable human. I guess it wasn't computer readable. Okay, go sub 1340. And yeah, I got to get all these on the same line here. Read tab 11. Is my, okay, and that's all the space I got there. Inverse. Okay, that's white on black. So Apple computers had dark mode originally, and we're just getting back. Tonight, GitHub finally got into dark mode. And when I first saw the difference, when I started using dark mode and things, I couldn't believe my eyes how much softer the dark mode is. Okay, HTab 8, and then print some garbage. Print nil. Now it's a one space, semicolon, L string sub L. Now, actually in Applesoft, when you have things like that, you could leave out the semicolon and it will work, but I'm putting it in for posterity. Okay, L string sub L. Now is the L tabbed? Yes, it is, you see. L string sub L, semicolon, quote, market prices. Oh, these stupid quotes. Okay, so it's gonna give me curly quotes no matter what I do. Market prices, quote, colon, normal. Okay, colon, print a string. All right. For I equals 0, is it O to 4 or 0 to 4? Yes, yeah, that's a 0 because the O is fatter. 13 and a half? What? No, 13 plus I over 12. Okay. I over 2. Okay. H tab 1. Print your G string. Ooh, interesting. Yeah, this YouTube channel is not for kids. Okay. Is that a semicolon? Yeah, semicolon, colon. Okay. H tab 10. Print. Looks like a semicolon, but I'm making it a colon. Print print G string sub I. No, it is GP sub I semicolon. At least they're not using percents in this listing. All right. So you could use percents in Applesoft for integer variables. And that saves some space and speed, but practically it's up to you. You could get away without it if you're not running under constraints of memory. Okay, G string sub I plus 1 semicolon. Okay. And then H tab 30. We're going to print the GP. Gross profit? No. Something G. Okay, so for 4 lines of code, I did that editing, which is faster than typing it all in. Maybe not. Okay, Control-Shift-V. Okay, now we can clean up. Yeah, not bad. Next I question mark. There's no question mark there. Okay, 220. Go sub G0. Oh, they got me. Okay, B tab 11 inverse, H tab 8 print, 1 space, L sub L. It's L string sub L. So I escape, go back, put a $sign, sub L, semi, quote, and then there's a space, yeah, space market prices. And for I equals 0 to 4, step 2. So 0 to 4, B tab 13 plus I over 2, H tab 1, not L. Interesting, it interpreted that as an L. Okay, print G string sub I semicolon, and then H tab 10, print GP sub I semicolon. I forgot my colon. Oh no. Yeah, I'm over 50. I'm going to have to get that thing soon. I'm not looking forward to that. H tab 50, GP, next I. Okay. Yeah, they could keep it, you know. All right. Why do we have that? Pain in the butt. All right. 212, 217. Go sub, go sub. B tab, inverse, H tab. Yeah, we looked at all this. It's perfect. What have we done here? We called an events subroutine at 790. Presents happenings and opportunities that come up. That's cool. Yeah, so subroutines are very useful when you're organizing code. Oh, I want to retire. Just give me $1 trillion and I'll retire. But they're going to tax me too much. Who will be the first trillionaire? Okay, save it. Life ain't all about money. It may take you 40 years to learn that, but it's true. Okay, that's 225 to 299. We'd have to put this in. Okay, market menu. Yeah, so this game will let you get your greed in. All right. I watched a movie called The Big Short. It's from 2015 about the housing bubble. It's a very good movie. It's got some bad language, but it's just interesting intellectual stuff about how these traders knew what was really happening with the housing market and how there was no way it couldn't collapse, and they bet against it with those derivatives that they created, and then they actually see it falling apart and they can't believe their eyes. And it's a good movie to watch to understand that personality and how deep in the doo-doo the world is. Okay, market menu. You know, when you grow up, you learn how deep doo-doo. You learn all about deep doo-doo, especially if you have kids or pets. Okay, you love them, right? Yeah, just look at 4 a.m.'s dogs. You'll love that. Okay. Alrighty. Print VTab 6. Where'd that come from? 53D. Buy, sell. Where did this come from? Up here. Here we are. 230. Okay. 230. 225. Let me bump the font. Bump up your font. Bump it up. Okay. Market menu. Okay. 230 is your print VTab. 18. Okay. Print. Buv. Sell. Div. I want a div. Buy. Comma. Sell. Comma. Die. Leave. Today is a good day to div. Comma. Or retire. Which is going to be impossible for most of us, by the way. Okay. 235. Read Animal Farm to learn why. Okay, 240 to 244. Okay, 240. Is everybody happy? Supposed to say yes. No matter what's going on, stay happy. Okay, if X string equals B, you got an Apple computer or an emulator, be happy. Then T string, what the hell? X string, what happened here? Oh, 41. Look at that, 240 and 241 got mangled. Oh, because of this. Okay, it copied these like it was a different place. Okay, so I could control exit. Then, let's see what happens here. Then B, then by. Okay. If X string equals B, then T string equals by, colon X equals 1. Okay. 241, which is here. X string equals S. Here it is. And sell. X equals 2. Colon. If L 242. If X string equals L, then 360. That's a go-to 360. And 243 got mangled as S43. So this should be a 243. And then we can do this. If X star, we're not doing any high-level math in this program here. Okay, saved the notepad. Okay, so this is called spaghetti code. If it's this, jump down there. If it's this, jump down there. And then go back and make some more spaghetti. Okay. If X string, look at that, the X strings became X stars. Because the font, yeah, it's skewed a little differently, so it affected the OCR. Okay, X string not equal to B. Whoever thought we would have OCR back in the Apple II days, that you'd have such sophistication in code and that the world would be the way it is today. Like I imagined like one day having a gigabyte, which would be all I would need, because I thought I had like a program that could compress so much. I could get like hundreds of disk images on a small number of them. Yeah, I had no idea back in the day what I was getting into, which is true for most young people. You have no idea what you're getting into, and that's why we hire you. Okay, get string subroutine. Subroutine 60 to 64. Oh, good attempt. Okay, poke. We're being poked. Okay, poke is gonna poke memory, and it's gonna poke negative 16,368 with a 0. Now, why are we doing that? Okay, and how do you poke a negative number? Well, memory in the Apple goes to 64K, and this is from the top of memory going down 16,368 bytes. And that happens to be the keyboard strobe. So we are really accessing the keyboard hardware here. We are clearing a strobe, and then we are checking if a key is pressed or not. So if it's less than 128, that means that the high bit is clear. If the high bit is set, the high bit is 128. So any number greater than or equal to 128 will have that high bit set, which means that the user actually hit a key. Otherwise, we've just been waiting and waiting. So this means that they haven't hit a key, so they go to 61 and they stay in this tight loop, and it does nothing. That $1,000 computer is doing absolutely nothing until you press a key. Not even doing something useful. Okay, and then when it exits that line, it goes in here and peaks at negative 16,384 to get the key. Okay, that's the peak. And Apple's keys are high ASCII, which means that they have that high bit set. So by subtracting 128, you get the ASCII value. So like the letter A is a 65, so but it would come through plus 128, so we subtract it to get to the 65, and then we could do a character string 65 to get the letter A into X string. And then this just clears that strobe flag so that it's saying, okay, I picked up that key that you pressed. Now you could listen for a different key. Okay, that's get string. Okay. How did I learn that? From books, Apple manuals, and sample code. Actually, magazines were the most useful resource. Soft Talk especially in the day. There was a basic corner in Soft Talk, and you could get those online these days. Okay, negative 16.3 less than 128, then 61. So it was actually a friend of my parents at a swimming club who gave me my first Soft Talk, because we had gotten an Apple computer and I had no idea what to do with it. And he gave me that magazine, and then suddenly this thing made sense. And I was able to do a few things, type in some programs and see what they do, and then learn enough to decide that, okay, I can go to college and get a job in this eventually. All right, 363, oh boy, not a 386, 384. Minus Isa, that's the queen in Nox Archaeist. What's she doing in here? 128. Who knew she'd be in this? Wow. Okay, poke. That's a 63, not an L3. Okay, not the depths of vacuous level 3. Okay, negative 16, 368, comma 0. Okay, we're going to level up in our code here. All right. 64 return. Okay, so people watching this video in the future are going to say, what? Say what? What was that? It's called Nox Archaeist, the most popular game of the 2020 pandemic. Okay. 230. Let's see, where were we? Yeah, we want to go back here. 212 on. We have 212, 217, 220, and 21. So we're going to do this part now. All right. It's a little bit at a time. Market to market to market. Okay. So how does it look? Buy, sell. Is there a space in there? Where's that? Back here. Here it is. Yeah, there is a space. Okay. Then we got to fix 240. X string equals B. And T string equals buy. That's the text we're going to print. And X equals 1 to a signal of what we're doing. And sell is a 2. Okay. L. Now what's the difference here? There's something wrong. The 242 and 243. Let me list them. 242. Yeah, they're fine. List 243. Yeah, Applesoft parses it. That was just the formatting of entering. Let's look. 244. Okay. 244 here. If it's not B, and not S, and not L, and not R, that means you typed something else that we don't understand, then go sub 770, which is probably an error routine, and then go to 240 to get the input again. So 240 was go sub 60, which is your keystroke, and to see what key you pressed. Okay, so you got to press one of those 4. So here's some logic for you. So when you have if statements, you could have ands and ors and nots. So if this is true and that is true and that is true and that is true, then it will do this. Otherwise, it'll just go to the next statement. And these things are saying not B, not S. So if you pressed a B, then this statement is false and it exits the if statement. Okay, so that's Boolean logic, which a lot of you study now. Truth tables in high school. Okay, 55. Get string subroutine. Okay. Oh boy, what happened here? Oh, my 60. See, I should just do this over like that. So, yeah, these all got mushed together. All right, let's see how this works. So if I just type over these line numbers, 60 got a question mark in front of it. So it said print 60 poke. So it did print a 60 and then got a syntax error. Cute. All I have to do here is just space it out. Let's all space out. Okay. List 55 to 65. Poke. If peak, then 61, but don't print. Yeah, get rid of that print at the end. So that's a syntax error. There's no colon. But the question mark that it reads in the OCR, thought there was a question mark there. Okay, minus 128, and then poke, not bracket, it's a negative. Return, and initialization data was from previous. Save. Okay. Input error subroutine. We figured this. Oh, print Control G. What's a Control G? Well, it comes from the days of the teletype. And if you actually get to see a teletype, a real one from the 70s or so, there's a real bell inside which goes ding. But that's what a Apple bell sounds like. Okay. So, let's look at it. 765. Yeah. Okay, copied that. Paste it here. Alright. Let's see what gobbledygook it gives us. 7BS. Uh-oh. Look at list 7. It just created a 7BS. It just killed something that may have been at line 7. That's why you edit in Notepad first. Yeah. So with computers, you can really screw things up if you make mistakes like that. See? You just created BS. 765 is what it should have been. And 770, not print AG, it's a Control G. So you got a Control G over here as a beep, quote, semicolon, colon, return. Okay, but what I'm going to do, because now when you list 770, it beeps at you. And who wants to list a program and then have it beep at you at some point? Okay, what I'm actually going to do is restore the saved version. So if I load Taipan book, it overwrites the program. And let's see, 200 on, so I should have everything I did up there up to 244. Right, and then 55 to 65. Okay, so I got all that saved. Save early, save often, because there's no autosave in Applesoft. Okay, 765 doesn't exist. So here I'm going to change it here, and I'm going to print, instead of Control G, let me blow this up. Blow it up. Okay. Okay, so no more BS. 765, remark. 770, instead of printing that, I'm going to print character string 7. Because G is the 7th letter of the alphabet. And then, do I have a semicolon? Yeah, I need a semicolon. Because otherwise it would go to the next line, which we may not want. Okay. So now when I list 700 on, well, I have to put it into the code first. Okay. Control, copy, and Control Shift V. Okay. Now I list 770. Okay, so there's no beeping at me, and this will print on a printer nicely. So you'll know that it's a Control G character. You could put a remark statement that beeps at you, which I might just do here, just to be nice to future readers. Okay, remark. Character string 7 is a beep. Okay. 770. There you go. I've done my service to posterity. Okay, it explains it here. You had to do that when you were doing integer basic, but Applesoft has the character string. All right, let's buy and sell. 245. Did we do this yet? There is no 245, so we've got to put it in item menu. We're going to look at our items, the T string. All right, copy. O string S. By opium. War is a Racket by Smedley Butler. All right. Control Command C to copy. Control Shift V. Oh, no, what am I doing? I'm thinking I'm in micro Control V. No. Command V. There you go. Mac. So when your brain gets old, everything interferes with everything else. Okay? Don't get old. 245. 247. Rem. Item menu. Okay. 250. Okay, VTab what? 18. Print a string. Semicolon. Semi and a colon is a semicolon. VTab 18. HTab 3. Colon. Print T string semicolon. Quote space quote semicolon TC string semicolon. Is that a question mark? That's a real question mark, and it figured that out. How about it? Okay, but it just mangled my quotes, which it's still going to mangle. Go sub 260 and go to 280. Okay, save and copy paste. Okay, and fix it up. The curly quotes. Okay. I think it'll look good now. Let's see, 245 on. Okay, so we got VTab print, looks good, HTab, okay, semicolon quote, a question mark, go sub, go to, okay. So like in magazines, if you had to type all this in and then run it and it gets an error, well then you have to spend time figuring out what it's supposed to do and where your error is. And that's how we learned. I'm serious. We learned by having errors and figuring out how to fix them. And what I learned through work is that everybody learns from experience. You could talk about things 100 times. They'll learn when they make a mistake and they have to fix it, and they feel the pain of what that mistake caused them in terms of extra work. All right, that's just me, my experience. Yours may vary. Okay, remark, itch. I have an itch. Scratch it. Item ELO? No, EBO. Item choice. What the heck? Oh, look at this. Mangling my stuff here. Because of words. Word tables. Okay. 260. See, computers in my day were dumb. They didn't try to figure out what your intention was. They just took what you gave them and spat it out at you. And then you fixed it up the way you wanted it. And that's artificial intelligence these days, trying to lead you by the nose. Okay, I think you would like this because you bought that and the other thing. Okay. I just ordered the DVDs of the TV show One Day at a Time because people have told me that it's unlike any other TV show of the 70s. And it's good for me because I see like how people interact in relationships, and I'm learning from it because if you have been undiagnosed with like a high functioning autism, then it's difficult for you to understand people, understand emotions or facial expressions. Okay, is that an O? Yeah, opium. Then xi equals 0. Okay, 261. If x string equals s, here it is. So find your code. An x1. It's an x1. Is it xi? No, it's x1. Okay. So all these xi's become x1s. They're xi's. Excise taxes. Okay. 261. Okay, there's no go sub. If x string equals s, then x1 equals 1. Okay, these are your line numbers here. E flat, S flat. Okay, have fun as you code. Free your brain. x1 equals 3. 0, 1, 3. There's no 2. 0, 1, 3, 4, 5. Huh, interesting. Okay. Is that a bug? Who knows? Command X, Command V, X1. Okay, 263. If x string equals p, then x1 equals 4. Where's my p? I lost my p. Okay. Then x1 equals 4. Now 265. I bet there's a line 264 missing. Yeah, okay. 265. If x string equals r, then x1 equals 5. Okay. Fix that up. R, then x1 equals 5. And then we got this thing here, 266. If x string not equal 0 and x string not equal s and x string not equal t, t and a, uh-oh. Get out of the gutter. And x string, okay. Is that from a chorus line? All right. X string not 0, it's opium and not s. So in modern languages, we wouldn't do this. We would just use the names or enumerations. But we got away with this stuff in Applesoft. Okay. Well, this makes sense because it's a key that you press. All right. But I think modern languages just obfuscate too much for the sake of maintainability that's perceived but may not be real. I find that code written that I can understand If I write it, I can understand it. Maybe no one else can, but I don't know. We're talking procedural versus object-oriented versus functional. So I got to learn all this crap, but because that's business these days. You got to know the crap, but nobody really believes in it unless you're making money from it. I didn't say that. Okay. I mean, really, the software tool industry has a history of, what will I call it? Puffery. Yeah, that's the word. Okay. I will say no more or I will get myself into trouble. I smell trouble. Okay. An extra is S, an extra not T, and not A, not P, not R. Then go sub 770 and go to 260. Alright, so you shouldn't be watching any of my videos if you want to be a real programmer. So I'm going to give you stuff that you shouldn't be doing. Like if-thens will turn into like curly braces, staircases of curly braces, devil's tails they call them. So don't code like me. Just have fun watching this. If you got nothing better to do, save. I mean, this is cool that you're building up a program and understanding a little of it as you go. If you read about it, what's great is to actually write things like this, explaining code line by line. That's a very tedious form of writing. And there was a lot of that in the magazines, the soft talks, and like Roger Wagner did a great job of that with assembly language. And that's when you're first exposed to something and you see things laid out like that, it's really helpful for beginners and for the experienced people just to reinforce concepts that they're learning. Because you'll be learning the rest of your life if you have any interest in computers. 60, 61, 3, 4, 5 is just reviewing it. 64 was the return. 115, did we get all that? Yep, we did. We got 120, 130, 140, 141, 150. What happened to 150? Wow, we lost our 150? Or maybe it was never there. It's 50. Okay, so I don't think we had 150. Or we missed it. Okay. Yeah, let's grab it here. Actually, I can look back and see if I had a 150. Did I? Okay, main display. No, I never copied 150. We had 141, but then we went into all this stuff. Okay, here's 150. Aboard ship. Okay, you are shipwrecked. And there's a drunk pirate on the second floor who wants you to get a logbook. Okay, 150. But you have to fight rats to get to him. Okay, V-tab, 5 plus I. What was Eric talking about here? Aboard ship. Where did that come from? Hong Kong, go down. Oh, I copied my aboard ship. Okay, up there. I worked with somebody from Hong Kong. All right. 5 plus I, G string, sub I. Yes, always print your G string. We can give you 3D printed G strings these days. Dirty old man, you. Okay, V tab 5 plus I. See, I say dirty things, but really I'm a little pussy cat. or chicken or whatever. And my bark is bigger than my bite. All right. I'm just a nerd. So take a guess how much relationship experience I've had. Okay, Q equals SG sub I. Count them on your fingers. All right, go sub 1330. V tab 5 plus I. H tab 26. All right, print character string 133. Semicolon. Okay. Q equals GG sub I. A lot of G's, huh? G is for greed. Greed is good. GG. Okay, go sub 1330. Next I, inverse, print a string, normal return. Okay, let's try that out. Control Shift V. There we go. Okay. How does it look? Okay. Looks good to me. What's character string 133? Let's see. Nothing. It may be character string 13 for carriage return. Well, do they explain it? List 212 to 220. Yep. I mean, this must have been a harrowing project to print this out and lay it out. Well, this is just running it through some program to pretty print it, but laying out the code between the text. If you ever worked on a newspaper or school newspaper, doing layout, it's hard work and it's creative work. You try to make things look cool. Okay, 230, 235. Let's list to 270. Okay, we got our, just making sure we got them all. All right, we were back here. 225, 30, 35, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 47, 250. Okay. 250, 55, 60. Yeah, and this is page layout before Mac. Well, maybe they used a Mac, but a classic Mac. They had image writers when I was growing up in school. Or laser writers for the Macs. Yeah, one laser writer for all the kids in the class. All right. 765 we've got. 770, list 1325, we've done. 1325 on. Okay, I'm gonna stop soon. So there's a stream I want to watch at 9. Okay. 13. Yeah, we make appointments for computer events. How about that? So we finished the chapter, and let me save it and post it. Okay. I don't think it's going to get anywhere further when we run it, because I don't think we got the 5,000 yet. So we did all that typing, and we still have an undefined statement error. Okay, we did get our 150. Good. Okay, have a good night. To be continued. stop meeting. Zoom, end meeting. So I have to stop sharing before I could stop my meeting? I guess so. Okay. Good night.